Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amazing Plastic Sunday Hangout. I'm your host, Scratch and Jack. I'm naked underneath my clothes, if you need to know. Amazing Plastic is a Google Plus community of all scale modelers of all shapes and sizes, genre, skill levels, and interests who like to share their tips and tricks with one another, learn more about their craft, and to celebrate one another's skill modeling achievements. The Sunday Hangout, along with Across the Pond Hangout, is the extension of the Amazing Plastic Scale Model Show. And, well, today we have joining us members of Amazing Plastic as well as followers. We start with Andy. How you doing, Andy? How are you, Andy?
Andy.
You all right?
Yeah, you're on.
Which Andy?
Which
Hello?
Andy?
All right.
What's on your bench there, mister?
Nothing at the moment.
That's really annoying me.
Okay. Oh, cool. Ecto 1.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
All you car fans, what year and model is that car?
19.
I think it's a 58, but I don't remember.
59. I don't even know.
It's a 59 ambulance, I'm sure.
While you look that up, we'll just keep moving on here. How you doing, Christina? How you doing, Christina?
I'm okay, thanks. You?
Oh, I'm pretty good. And what you doing on your bench there?
Everyone's favorite? Window holes.
On your Voyager.
Not mine. Commission.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. And you know something, though, something new happened at your place, and I'm going to screen share it. It is a captain's chair in front of a workbench.
I'm sitting on it.
Does that look familiar?
It's resting on a box because it's a spare seat for my car, so.
It's a car seat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably very comfortable.
It is.
And next up we have Colin. How you doing, Colin?
Hey, pretty good, Jack. Thank you for sharing that opening with us. I really appreciate that.
So what you doing these days?
Well, been working on that, finish up that flying sub. I finally got the front end portion of it done, and I'm just tweaking it. I got to resolder some stuff on the lights on that, battery connection, stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's out in the garage, so can't really show that. And then I started doing some painting work on this bad boy. Ready to start doing the light portion of it. And
so you are going to light it?
Oh yeah, I got the lighting kit for it already. That's let's see here. That stuff, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, Voodoo Effects. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the lights and the side lights on it, that sort of thing. So should be pretty cool. And that's about it at the moment.
Okay. And next up we have David. How you doing, David? You better unmute yourself.
Yep. I'm doing good, Jack. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. So what are you doing these days?
Today being Mother's Day, I mowed the yard yesterday, so it looked good for today. And other than that, I haven't done a whole lot. The only thing I did today is I fixed my wife's cheapy pair of sunglasses. Had to glue them back together, so didn't look very good.
And then you didn't do anything like me, like glue your fingers together or anything, did you?
No, just on the pants. That's it. Yeah.
Just on the pens. Never mind. Next up, we got here James. How you doing, James?
Hi, Jack. Doing fine, thank you. I'm still whittling away at building exhaust stacks for these engines, but I did get the left engine completed and got it mounted into the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jeez.
Very nice.
so that's getting there. Didn't make my deadline to get them both done before the end of the weekend, but at least it looks good to get one mounted anyway. So that's
Cool.
where I'm at right now with that.
Okay. Jay was with us. Maybe Jay. Oh, there's Jay. Hi, Jay. Did you get back on? Hi, Jay.
Damn Google.
What are you doing on the bench?
What have I got on the bench? I've been mainly working on the steampunk Katinga.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not down there right now, but well, if I were, I would show it to you. So.
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, Ecto 1 was a 1959 Cadillac ambulance.
That was cool.
Hmm?
Well, there you have it, Andy. It's a 1959 Cadillac ambulance.
Yeah.
That can double as a hearse, didn't it?
Cadillac. It was an ambulance. It was a Cadillac Mentor that was converted from an ambulance.
Oh, okay. All right. And I have found some stuff on our community. And let's see. There are 7 viewers right now, and I know one of them is Tony. And Tony finally, displayed his Battlestar Galactica. He's been posting a lot of pictures, but I wanted just a picture with the mirrors. In other words, that model kit and that model build is vain. Look how it shows off in those mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It is very nice. And I particularly liked how he centered it. I don't know. I probably would try to get more of the front end, but I think he was saying, wife found these mirrors, adhesive cards at Joann Fabric on sale for $2 for a 2-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess that's what he's showing up, but I still think that Galactica is just amazing. And I found something of very big interest here, and of course, James can relate to this.
It's that cardboard engine, yeah.
Yes, it's a 1-to-1 scale cardboard engine, and I'm not even sure which engine it is, but the details on this thing is amazing. Let me just zoom in on this here. You can see the corrugated nature of the cardboard.
Yeah.
And isn't that just incredible?
Yeah, it's a Japanese engine, but just...
Oh, okay. And I would imagine this will be in Japan then.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And we have Eric Lightberg here, who's finishing up on... I'm not even sure what this is. But the paint job, I just was very much attracted to. That is a very good
I think
paint.
it's one of the gaming pieces, but...
Warcraft? Warhammer? Warcraft?
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, Richard would know. And anyway, that's what I found since yesterday that was interesting on our community. And, well, there comes to a time where I hate finishing models because I just wrecked the D7. What do you guys hate about modeling?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, Christina and I were talking about that earlier today. I hate building models, but I love having built models. You know what I mean? But to be completely honest, the one thing I don't like is painting. Masking and painting. I just can't stand that. And I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, there are people out there who think that's Richard, that's his favorite part. I just don't like it. I don't know why, but necessary evil.
Yeah, I'm neither here nor there about that. I've learned a lot about painting, and quite frankly, it's gotten easier. But it seems like I don't like to finish. I don't like to finish a build. I like to start them. I like to toy with them. I like to, experiment with them, but never really finish them.
Yeah.
But I was told the man upstairs, no, not God, but the man upstairs told me I gotta finish some kits. I can't just have a whole bunch of laying around.
The woman downstairs told me that I should probably finish a couple before I buy any more. So.
That's the point. You buy them, you have a stash, and then you build them whenever you want.
Well, there's one thing about buying a stash is you got to be able to afford to build them, because I like to build them with aftermarket parts and a whole lot. Like I said, I like to do all kinds of stuff to them and never really finish them. How about you, Andy? What don't you like about the hobby, about building models?
Where do I put them afterwards?
Yeah, there's that.
What's that?
Where I put them afterwards, I have no space left in my house until we move house. I have no idea what to do with them. I'm trying to build smaller models. The NX-01's on top of the wardrobe collecting dust because I've nowhere to put it.
I know the way it is here in the States is I think George Carlin said that more stuff you get, you keep buying bigger houses. The more stuff you get. But that's not exactly doable in the UK because big houses cost big money.
Yeah.
Even medium.
Moving this year. Big house this year, fingers crossed.
Put your stuff. They ought to have a spare room in Buckingham.
How about you, Colin? What don't you like about models or modeling, building models?
Oh, I don't know. Lack of talent right now. Trying to get that back up. Painting, yeah, I'm getting a little bit better about airbrushing now than I was before. But there's that messing it up and having to recover. Putting your thumb on something when it wasn't dry. How many people have done that? Yeah, there you go. I did that yesterday.
Yeah.
And Christina, besides drilling holes and with windows, there has to be something else that you don't like about modeling.
I'm not sure, really. Pretty much just the tedious bits. Decals, I absolutely despise decals. They are horrible things.
Why?
Because it takes forever to cut out the tiny little things, and you've got to put them in the water, and then they fall off, and then they wrinkle up, and then they fold over, and then they're ruined.
Boy, these kids with instant gratification, isn't that right, gentlemen?
How long have you built in that year of Hell Voyager for? Bloody hell. Anything but instant.
And how about James? Paper. What's the worst thing about paper modeling?
Over repetitive tasks. I love building, but things like these stacks drive me up the wall. Because it's building the same little thing over and over and over for hundreds of times. It gets to be just a little too much. But I like variety, and I love building, but I hate the repetitive parts like that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. As getting up in the morning is repetitive to me. I just don't want to get up in the morning. It's repetitive. And how about you, Dave? What's up with the ERC and all that stuff? I mean, there must be something that you don't like about it.
After I finish it, breaking it, that really ruined your day.
Well, yeah, I just.
And I have.
It's the mount. The mount's broken, but that's.
I had built well, this was years ago. I had built when Lunar Models was in business. They had at that time the biggest vacuum form Jupiter 2 styrene, and I had it all. Took me like a year just off and on to build it, and I made a retractable landing gear, which it did not have, and I made mine all out of metal, aluminum, brass.
Wow.
It was very accurized. And then I sealed it all up, and when I was moving, it got bumped and it split the seam on it. So it kind of sat there for a while until I got time to redo it. Of course, then you had to reseam it and touch up all the paint and stuff. But that was kind of a disappointment because all the time you put in it. And
Right.
I didn't use CA on it either. I used, because there were some styrene parts on it, and I used like that plastic weld stuff, but it just still split because there's a lot of pressure there. So what I wound up doing was just kind of splitting it in half and then put like a styrene washer that about yay thick all the way around it, so that way I had more surface area to bond to, and then I never had any problem after that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
I
just
have the.
you get it all done.
I have one of those, and I did basically that. I got a big sheet of styrene, and I cut I mounted, or actually I glued the Jupiter 2 bottom half onto that sheet of styrene, and then flipped it over and cut a hole out so that I could get into, put the electronics and stuff in, and that really does strengthen it a lot.
Yeah. Takes all the flex out of it.
Such a big model. I mean, I love it, but 2 feet in diameter, and the Mobius kit is 18 inches in diameter, which doesn't sound like that much different. So what? 6 inches? Well, it is. It is significantly different.
Yeah.
I've got the polar lights one as well upstairs to build at some point eventually. Probably never.
Well, okay.
Oh, well.
So we now know what you don't like about the hobby or building models anyway. What do you guys do to get through it? For me, it's just easy. I just start another kit. That's just all it is. But like painting, how do you get through it? And like decals, how do you get through it?
For me, it used to be alcohol, but now it's just a case of doing it. Especially if I've got a commission, I've got to get it done by a certain time. So I just bite the bullet and do it. And it may not even be the painting that I hate as much as the cleanup. I hate having to clean out the airbrush to change colors and stuff like that. That's it. One of the reasons I have 4 airbrushes set up, so I can switch over quickly.
Well, I've heard some people, they have different tips for different paints, like a set for the acrylic, another set for the enamels, another for lacquers and all that stuff. But I spent most of the day today cleaning my area. I mean, I got the shop vac out, I took everything off my bench, cleaned in every corner, and it actually feels kind of nice. But I'm curious to know how long this is going to stay this way. But then again, it was the first time I've cleaned since I put this bench together late in the summer. So,
Till the next kit.
That's what I do. That's what I do. When it gets kind of monotonous, I clean.
I give it a week.
Well, as everyone else has said, I think the best thing is to get through it is to just to persevere and just to go through it. And if it's a monotonous task, just make sure you take breaks every so often so you don't drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with these windows.
Well, when I wasn't working, I was taking frequent naps.
Mm-hmm. I actually.
Of course, I'd be up 3 in the morning because I take so many naps. I'm good to go till 3 in the morning.
I'll have music playing in the background or something like that.
Yeah, music.
Just to help.
You know something? I am just so not musical. I am just so not musical. Dead silence is music to my ears.
Well, I used to have a television. I used to have a television down there hooked up to a DVD player and such, but then I discovered I was spending more time sitting and watching movies on TV than working, so I got rid of that. I brought them up here, and I just have a radio down there, a CD player.
Well, I do have Amazon Prime, but I've got to the point where enough noise, so I just dead silence. Yeah, music. What's that? Music. Oh, I think that's what the British brought over
I'm sort of with you, Jack. I sort of like just perfectly quiet when I'm working, as opposed to even a radio running in the background.
Well, yeah, my mom says.
I seem to be able to focus more on it without a lot of disturbance.
Yeah, I showed some pictures to my mom of my builds, and she's like, "Oh, you have patience for that?" And I said, "You know what? When it's quiet, I get so immersed in my build that the whole world goes by, and I ponder things. You know,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Zen.
Time just disappears.
It's Zen. It's very much a Zen for me. Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
music.
I've noticed at times I'll put in a CD and I'll start working, and the last song on the CD is playing, and it feels like I had just put it in.
Yeah.
You know, but kind of zoned out and was not really paying attention to the music. It's just I just kind of like to have sound in the background. But
Interesting. And just as the CD ran itself out, you realize, oh my gosh, I painted the whole build.
now I can take a break and listen to a CD.
Yeah, I had to stop buying beer and alcohol because I was drinking a lot of it, and I put on a lot of weight because of it. But I can never get a drunk going with beer. You get too bloated by that.
Yeah, me too. That's why you have.
So instead, I preserve myself with diet sodas.
Ah, yes.
I've done these recently.
Yeah, there's a commercial. Yeah, amp.
Caffeine.
Mountain Dew amp.
Oh. Closer.
They had a commercial on TV for Brita water pitchers. They're saying like Americans drink like 2 billion gallons of soda a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? That much?
I'd say half of that is probably me.
Yeah. That's you and somebody else. Old man Mike does it too. Mike Bassford.
Yeah.
Drinks a lot of soda as well. For an old guy, he drinks a lot of soda. I'm pretty impressed with him.
He's not that old.
Well, no, he's not. He's, in his mid-60s. But, yeah, I think it's important. Like, I think it is also important to realize that, you know what? When things are going wrong, stop. It's time. The day's over. You're done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, now, Jay, you got commission builds and all that stuff. And, well, when things go wrong and you have to stop, you stop.
Yeah, one of the things I quote when I'm giving a price is, and a deadline, I always include something that I call MTB time, which stands for Miss the Boat. And because there are times when I'm doing something and it just is not working, and it's just like, okay, I got to get away from this for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't work for
a while.
Lucas or Steven Spielberg, so I don't have to worry about necessarily getting it done by yesterday.
Well, you know something, those guys work like, 16 hours every day, 7 days a week to get something done. But then again, once it's done, it's done. They got it. I mean, for you, it's a constant thing. I mean, it's for Hollywood, it's for a couple of months and that's it.
Yeah.
But for you, I would think it wouldn't be a couple of months.
Well, usually it is. Usually it's if somebody were to come to me today and say they want a let's say an enterprise refit, the 1/350th scale enterprise refit, I'd tell them that I'll have it to them by August. And
well, I think that's reasonable because that kit does take a long time to build.
That's kind of quick.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's what I can do, 24 hours a day if I want to. Albeit I could only do that once, and then I sleep for the next day. But there are many times, though, when you get, like, someone needs something in a real rush. And I had somebody come to me once, and they said they needed 3 outer spacey-looking weapons. And, can you build them? I said, sure, when do you need them? And they said, we kind of need them tomorrow.
I need to meet them tomorrow.
And so I built 3 of them out of a Nerf pistol, a what is it? An airsoft P30, not P38. Can't remember. An airsoft pistol and an airsoft machine gun.
Uh-huh.
And they actually, I'm really surprised at how nice they came out looking, because you can look at them and not really tell what they came from. So, but I probably did almost 24 hours straight to get that done.
But you certainly get some requests that you would rather not do, or you're doing, and you're like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have yet to fill a request on car models. Not that I don't think I can do it, I just don't like doing them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting. Car models aren't that bad.
mm-hmm.
The thing I find with car models is pretty much every kit is identical, just a slightly different shape. You all have the same parts, the same instructions, everything's identical, so I can do one, but then I won't be able to do one for ages, because it's just boring.
Yeah, very much just the same thing, even though some parts may vary, but they're very much the same thing. The instruction, the pattern of the instructions are all the same. You're right, Christine. I mean, once you build several of them, you really don't even need the instructions anymore.
Yeah.
But for you, Jay, or anybody else for that matter, well, I start kits. I don't finish them, so, well, I can go anywhere around here and pick up a kit and start working on it because I've already started it.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be a one kit at a time person, but oh God, no, that's not the way it is. I'm like probably about 5 to 10 at a time.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Like you, when I get bored with one, I'll work on another one. I've got probably about 4 or 5 kits downstairs that I work on, you know, back and forth depending on how I'm feeling. But I've kind of committed myself to finishing that Katinga before I do anything else. So.
How about anybody else?
Well, as a rule, I try to start a kit and finish it before I start anything else. Every once in a while, I'll throw something else in between. But as a rule, it's that one kit till it's done. Not that I don't have any shelf queens, because there are a couple floating around here. But as a rule, it's one kit to completion.
Well, I've heard, James, that people who are retired can only do one thing at a time. Is that true?
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I think I've got about 15 to 20, all in different stages of completion. Because I'll
Yeah, you're still doing the Year of Hell Voyager, right?
Yeah, but then there'll be something that I need to buy, so I can't do that. So okay, I'll do something else, and then something I need to buy for that, and then the cycle goes on. And I think near enough every single kit that I've got in my stash has at least something done to it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way too. I don't think my wallet can, how do you call it, keep up with me wanting to finish a build. Yeah, so the D7 was completely out of the box.
Yeah.
But you know what? I painted it with lacquer paint. I got so sick yesterday from the fumes. I'm like, you know what? This is not worth it. I'm going to stick with acrylics from here on out.
Yeah, that really needs to be vented. I mean, really.
Like a refit.
Well, it is vented. I mean,
for everything you buy for it, just see how much you actually spend.
Did anybody hear that?
No. I not call it.
I'm saying if you were to take something like the refit, 1350 refit, and then just keep track of everything you spent on it, supplies, extra parts, all that stuff, what that would actually come out.
A hell of a lot.
Including the model itself, of course.
Well,
I take into account, because I do have one, while I have not yet built it, I have everything to build it, aftermarket parts and everything, and the electronics I build myself, so I don't really count that, but you know, barring the electronics, that the kit itself cost me $80, and I've probably got another $200 in stuff to build it, aftermarket parts and things like that. So
Okay.
the time that's
That's
more than anything else.
That's about the way it goes with a lot of kits. The kit, in most cases, is the lesser price of the build. It's all the aftermarket stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either aftermarket, paints, supplies, everything else that adds up to the price on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know something? I did look into how much the JJ prize would be to get all the aftermarket parts and to build it, and it came up to be about $450.
Mm-hmm.
And for cars, it could be a very easy 100 for a car. Usually a muscle car or some sports car, they have lots of aftermarket parts for. And I know some car builders put at least another 100 in there. And there was a guy who had a video on a long time ago, and I can't remember. He built a rig, and I can't remember which kit it was. And he scratch built its trailer. And it was not a box trailer. It was a trailer that I do believe carried the same scale tank, some kind of tank, like a Sherman tank or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said in a video, outside of the kit, which alone was about $80 for the rig, and of course it was perhaps $20 for the tank, he said he probably spent another $500-600 on aftermarket parts and scratch building the trailer. So, yeah, a kit is a beginning. Right out of the box is one thing, but boy.
A kit's kind of like a canvas. It's there, but you have ultimate control over what the final thing looks like, and how much work you want to put into it is up to you. So.
Right. I agree. In fact, I found that I got the motion picture version of the Katinga.
Mm-hmm.
I life locked it today. So I found some aftermarket parts for it, and it wasn't that much. It was, I think, like $40, and all it was the front end on this thing is not correct.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I looked at it. I'll probably do it myself. I take a pieces of styrene and fix it.
Yeah. There's some nice brass or etched brass parts for that.
Well, the brass I would get. The photo etch I would get.
Yeah, the photo etch is really nice for that kit.
And that would be JT Graphics?
Yeah, either them or
Paragraphics.
I got it from Paragraphics.
Paragraphics, okay. Yeah. And well, I'll look to what it costs. I think he's anywhere between $30 and $50,
About
depending.
$30. It was about $30.
Yeah, because I do want to do there's decals here for the grills of the engines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes no sense.
Yeah, you want to cut those out and put some lights behind it. Yeah.
Let's see if it focuses. Yeah, right there, you might be able to see that it is some grill work on that orange.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
The one I've got actually has rub-on transfers, and it has that metallic holographic, stuff. The engine grills are printed on that you cut out and stick on, and I hate both of those. So.
Well, in comparison to painting, where do you put your skills? I mean, do you like doing it?
Decaling?
No, photo etch.
Oh, I love photo etch, although it's a pain in the butt to work with sometimes.
Well, it can be hard.
I don't know why I like it so much, but I don't normally use CA to attach it. Usually I'll use like clear lacquer. Works really well
really?
in a lot of cases. Yeah, gives you a little more time, a little more control. It kind of depends. If the piece is going to be put under any strain whatsoever, I'll use CA, but I almost always use clear lacquer.
But CA is pretty rigid when it's cured, and if there's any stress on it, it'll just simply snap.
Yeah, it's really more for parts that might be pushed on or something. Yeah, if there's any twisting, it's going to go. But
Mhm.
Yeah, it doesn't have any shear strength. It has
Strength is bad.
a lot of strength forward and backward. As
Yeah.
when you see that next show on Amazing Plastic, they'll discuss that how super glue works, and
It has
it
no
has no
shear.
shear strength. But
Yeah.
if you got it like that commercial guy on Crazy Glue, it's on his hat and stuff. That type of strength, it's real strong. But you can just take two pieces and twist them apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I use so many different kinds of glue. It's scary. It really depends on exactly what I'm doing. You know.
I'm in a business of using four types of glue in my builds.
Yeah. I just bought a tube of, or about a month ago, I bought a tube of, it's actually Watchmaker's crystal adhesive. And it comes in this little tube with a needle that fits through it, so it fits through the end so it doesn't clog up. And that stuff is really nice for a lot of very small parts that need some strength, you know. It's nice stuff to work with. Dries crystal. So.
Well, I'm sure that James doesn't use super glue on paper, but can it be
Yes,
used?
I do.
Do you?
I do use super glue. Yeah.
Okay.
At times. Yeah.
Is it the thin stuff or the thicker stuff?
Thick stuff.
The thick.
Not the thin. I do have the thin here, but I very rarely use it.
I'm the other way around.
Mostly the thick.
Yeah,
That, and I use my Aleene's tacky glue. That's my go-to for just about most of the stuff.
Yeah.
The clear tacky. And if I got a big area,
so it's plain.
Good old wood glue.
The page, yeah, we used to have that in the States. I don't know if you can find it here. It's all Elmer's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Elmer's makes it thicker. But tell me, because I'm not even sure why you would use thick CA on paper over thin.
It doesn't. If you use thin CA, it's like putting water on it. It's just the paper just absorbs it, and it goes way beyond where your glue point is, and it can stain the paper. Whereupon the thick stuff will stay in the one spot and stay put. So that's the main reason.
Wouldn't it make the paper more rigid?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes that's one of the uses for it. If you've got an edge and the edge is fraying, or you want to file it, if you rub some CA on it and then let it dry, and then you can file it and get a nice sharp edge on the edge of the paper.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
That's cool.
So.
Where'd Christina ran away?
Yeah, her captain's chair is pretty cool looking too.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's got a headrest too. She's got to put like the control armrest that has controls on it, you know.
Danny.
Danny shows up. All right, so let's have Danny talk the rest of the show.
Okay, that'll work.
And I wanted to say there is room left in there's room left in this room. If those of you who are watching would like to come on, just send me a private message, and I will get you on. Okay,
Good evening,
Dan, how
Danny.
you doing?
I'm good, thanks, guys. Sorry about me being so late. I
okay.
was having dinner with the wife. It's Mother's Day, and so we were just having some quiet time, me and her, and yeah, and then I realized, crap, across the pond.
That was yesterday.
I mean, well, you know what I mean, the hangout. Jackass.
You're really late.
Time zones, they confuse me.
I hate time zones.
I thought it was Australia from...
So what are you working on?
I'm getting the photo slide tutorial done, getting it ready to do painting faces and textures and wet blending, a tutorial on how to wet blend.
Mm-hmm.
So that a lot of people will realize, well, that doesn't apply to me, but it actually does. If you want to do weathering on a vehicle, a starship, tank, whatever, you need to learn to wet blend.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much that's what the video guide tutorial is going to be on. But I'm basing it on 28mm tabletop figures. And I'll be doing another one when I get larger figures to paint, like bursts and figurines and things. That's what I'm doing right now. That and I swear, if anyone mentions Cardassian to me, I'm just going to rip my hair out.
That's I think still your curse, is it?
Oh God, you have no idea. The windows. Just when you think you've done enough, oh, you've missed 3 right here, and it's like he's not gonna know, but I will. Damn it! The perfection. It's the OCD in me. It's like I gotta do it. Everyone's curse of Star Trek model kits. Windows.
Yeah.
Windows.
Windows. What operating system does a Starfleet vessel run? Windows.
Well, I'm going to see if I can open up the Q&A to our audience. And this feature is disabled. I guess I had to include it when I first opened it, so I guess no questions from you guys. But certainly, again, you can text me, Scratch and Jack. Just go to the Hangouts and look me up and ask me a question. And I still say that Tony McCash, and I know he's watching, should join us.
He should.
Because
It won't let me invite anyone. It's locked. It won't let me invite anyone.
he texted me and said, hell no.
Love you too, Tony. Dirtbag.
He don't want to be seen with us, I'm afraid.
Jack, I think you're the only person that can invite.
Yeah, I can't for some reason, but
I've invited him.
I tried.
Here, I'm gonna send him an invite anyway. Here, and he's going to like, funny Jack.
Truth be told, I think he's afraid of Christina's Queen of Destruction skills. he did just finish a really cool Galactica. I think if Christina just looked at it, it'd just fall apart.
Yeah.
That would be me, because I just destroyed my D7, so it fell right off behind me, and the little yoke inside it that holds it together broke off, but it's still on the stand. And some of the lights don't work no more.
I got a funny feeling there's a little pint-sized Christina laughing underneath that table now. Next time I picture a gremlin when I'm working on a car, I'm just going to picture a Christina with horns.
I'm not so impressed with that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. You know I've got to give you shit.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going.
Uh-oh, she's going to be mad at me now.
Cracking a box is not the best way of doing it. And there we go.
So how's everyone else's models going today? Please tell me a lot better than mine, because
Oh yeah, no, doing fine.
thank God.
I finally, as I said earlier, I finally got all the stacks done on one of the motors and got it installed in the wing.
Nice.
So
That's looking pretty sweet there, dude.
yeah.
The invite.
That is a nice size model. I didn't think it was that big, actually.
Oh yeah.
Holy
It's a
cow.
good. It's got to be a good 18, 20 inches across the wingspan, I think.
See, now with me, if I was going to do something like that, I would build the papercraft version, but I would use the templates to take balsa wood and actually carve one out of wood, so I'd have another one, you know. That's just me though, because like Jack, sometimes I need 2 kits to make one.
I have upgraded. I now need 3 kits.
Christina's showing some porn. Oh, sweet.
Do you recognize this one, Jack?
Oh God, the one.
Yes, that's the D7 that I built and sent to you. So what's the progress on that?
Not much, really. Not in a while.
Is that where the Is that where the 555 timer exploded and caught fire like, on top of?
Not far from it, I don't think.
Ingenuity, a modeler's best friend. Yep.
The burn pack.
Okay.
See, I think that's why people don't light up papercraft models. They're afraid it's just going to burn if that happens.
Well, I've been lucky so far it hasn't burned. Nor have I wanted to throw it across a room, so.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there.
That's all right. I'll trip over the cord and it'll die taking those.
I was working on my AMT Reliant kit from AMT earlier this morning, and I could not get those damn warp nacelle arms to fit properly. Putty.
You're not supposed to.
To the point where I was going to use the saucer section as a ninja Death Star and kill someone. And I was like, no, I can't break this model. I can't. I want to, but I can't. And then I thought, I'll send it to Christina.
Well, I think it healed itself because the light that was burnt out is now glowing. It was one of the wing. It's still going.
Oh, cool.
But now it wobbles.
Well, you know what they say, Jack. It's not.
Okay. It's okay.
It's not a true Klingon vessel unless it's got some battle damage.
Amen.
Very good point.
You know and then well, now yours is properly christened in the ways of Klingon. There'll be very many songs sung of that ship's destruction.
It has honor.
The Battle of Scratching Jack. There you go. Many great Klingons died in that battle.
I'm a true warrior, ain't I?
Oh, yes. You can just see the Federation combat right there on your chest.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
You should name that ship the Weeble because it wobbles but doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I got it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's successful, I think, and it's a homemade stand, and I'm making a new one so that I can cast it in resin. But I just threw that stand together, and I thought that was so cool. Why don't I make a real nice one and do some resin casting?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be from the tutelage of Jay. He did the video on Amazing Plastic, and I feel confident enough to go ahead and do it myself.
Yep, that he did.
So
and
once
it looked like I knew what I was doing. That's kind of scary.
To me, that was scary because I was like, he's almost professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's showing us up.
Yeah, but you got to be very careful with what you're doing because, as you said, it'll pick everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Even a speck of dust, even.
Yeah, you need that surface as smooth and preferably glossy as possible.
Well, there is some parts here that I have drying up because I put the polyurethane on them.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's fully cured, I'm going to sand them down.
Yeah.
And it's made of Luon.
Mm-hmm.
And let me click onto this. And here's the base. And this will just go like right sort of like there.
Nice.
And this will go sort of like here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's got to come down a little further, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to, you see it's already clear, so I'm going to sand this down real smooth. And yes, polyurethane is poly, it's plastic, and it will certainly, I'm going to fill some holes in here now that I look at it with some putty. Yeah, that I do know. I don't want I don't want the wood grain to come through.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point, is saying that.
What you could also try and do is take some strip LEDs, the same colors of the emblems, and put them underneath. See, what I would do is make my stand out of plexiglass. That way, when you wire it up and you turn it on, the base glows as well. You know?
I want to do this in an option where the resin is going to be, either opaque or translucent. So cast this in translucent. So you can do that.
Yeah. Because that's
Good
what I've
evening,
got to
Arnold.
do. That's what I've got to do for the Kardashians, because the base they gave me is pretty cool. I'm actually going to mold that in clear and then run some yellow LEDs in it to make the base
What's
glow
this?
as well.
What, you're putting LEDs on Kim Kardashian?
No. The Kardashian base for the model.
Kardashian, not Kardashian.
No, not Kardashian. No, you.
Well, you know, I always thought the Kardashians were better looking than the Kardashians.
Yes, they are, hands down. And they're less
Yeah,
angry,
they are
too.
called spoonheads, but you know, it is what it is. I'd rather be looking at a spoonhead than a Kardashian.
Mhm.
Which Kardashian ship are you doing?
The Galore class, Galore class.
yeah.
Galore.
I got two of the Galore class, whatever you want to call them. I got two of them. One is for myself, the other one is for a customer.
Oh, I remember that. It took almost an hour to do those windows.
Yeah, don't even go there. I'm still doing the windows on one of them. And I looked at the other one and I'm like, I want to outsource you to China. Or something. Just something, you know? And then I finally found it a little bit small enough, and then I don't have a rat tail file small enough to get in there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I felt like just yelling Khan, but it wouldn't work because it's not in the same context. So I was just like,
I etched slots in my D7 nacelles, and they were very rough. And I just took sandpaper, folded it in half, and threaded it through the slot and sanded it out.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing with my windows. I've got like sandpaper.
Yep.
Folded over a good few times.
see, now I cheated. Instead of it being like those little slanted windows, like on the Enterprise, Voyager, and things, I went with just a straight round one. And then I just took a square rat tail file and then just poked it through quickly to get the corners done, and then that's it. The window's done for me.
But you know,
And it works.
sandpaper works the same way. You just got to be very delicate in cutting it and rolling it, folding it, whatever you need to do, and thread it through your rough hole, and it sands out really nice.
But it worked, and so I'm like, hey, that works. So it just every so often I keep going back to looking at images for reference and stuff, and I'm like, I missed a window. Damn it. It's like, I missed a window. Yeah. Or it's like, wait a minute, there wasn't a window there in that picture, but why there's one in this picture? What's
Because
the difference?
I know that while we were
as far as I know, there was a CGI model and the physical model. There was slight differences. So
Yeah, like the detail on the front of the box is different to the ship you actually get in the kit. There's detail missing.
yeah, the
So
windows
I,
on the edge aren't there.
So I had to scratch build a little bit of detail here and there, using some plaster strut and some old for sale signs, the car for sale signs, because it's all it is just plastic. So I just took it, sanded it down a little bit so that the glue could take a bite, and then that's it, and just built it up from that.
The thing about doing windows on like a Starship model or something that has a lot of little ones, they don't have to be perfect because that's where the masking really comes in.
The only thing you need to be sure is that the edges aren't so rough that a little spur is like inside it, because it won't pick up the light, of course, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be perfectly open. Is what I'm trying to say.
It does have to be open, but it's like let's say for example we magnify a window and the hole is this big, but the actual window is only this big. That's not a problem because you fill it with dental acrylic and then you just mask out the size that you want the window to be, and when you paint it, all that's going to blend anyway.
Yeah, see, that's what I did for these bottom ones down here.
Yeah, exactly.
On these belly windows. You see, and it works just fine. And I spoke to the customer, and the customer's like, as long as it works.
It also helps a lot. I find if you thin it down a lot at the back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a real good point.
Yeah, I haven't started that yet because I mean this edge along here is too thin to do that. Because if I try that, it's just literally gonna fall apart. So I'm not gonna bother with that. And then Tony is probably thinking, why don't you just use fiber optics? Well, Tony, not everyone likes a Spider-Man orgasm inside their model kits.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I hate to say it.
I was going to introduce Otto, but with that, I don't know if he wants to to follow up that comment. So, hi,
I
Otto, what's
will.
up?
I will, and I'll go ahead and let everybody know what I've been up to. Working on a new model. Jack, no judgments. You're probably not going to like this.
Oh, I'm scared. Oh, is that? That's the one yes, one I
Yeah,
sent
it
you.
is.
Oh, okay. So let me see. It's a Mustang.
Yes, it
Very
is.
good.
You know, you're a man after my own heart. You know that? I love Mustangs.
It's one I gave him. It's
It
a
is.
Mustang I gave him.
It actually is. And ironically, it's with the same paint that you led me to.
Yep, the sapphire blue metallic. Yeah.
Sapphire blue metallic.
Yep, beautiful.
Whose
I
is it?
have it right here.
What brand name is that?
It's from Folk Art. You can get it at Walmart.
Yeah, it's like 88 cents a bottle.
It's a paint that already has a pearlescent in it. So
Yes.
you add pearlescence to it. It's great for automotive.
And it is
So
beautiful.
and it comes in varieties of colors. I've got it in blues, greens. I've got one in a Christmas cherry red. That's
Yeah.
going to look so beautiful on a '57 Chevy I'm doing.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on.
We do something over at the Across the Pond, and I don't know if any of you watch the shows, but I don't know how it came up, but it sort of was somewhat of a dare to Liam, who's a fantastic aviation and sci-fi modeler, but he's never done a car. And Andy wants to do Andy showed the Ecto 1 because he's going to be doing a car too. But I just want to make an observation, Andy, if you don't mind. You're a sci-fi guy too. What do? You do the Ghostbusters, and Liam's doing Christine from the.
The '57 Plymouth Fury. Gotta love that car.
Yes, and I'm just going to do a plain car. I want to ask you all who are into cars, should I build a Nova Yenko that is lighted or a '66 Chevelle?
Oh, I would say Christina would probably say General Lee or a Charger.
I think out of those two, the Chevelle.
The Chevelle. Actually, you know what? Is it the 4-door Chevelle or is it the 2-door Chevelle? Because I know in '66 they came out with a 4-door. If it's the 4-door, it just looks too long, and I really hate that.
It's a 2-door. It's go
with the Chevelle. Go with the Chevelle.
Yes.
Go with the Chevelle. Yeah, go with the Chevelle if it's the 2-door. The 4-door Chevelles are just ugly.
No.
It's like the 4-door Chargers they came out with recently for the police. Thing looks just ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
What does the Yenko look like?
I happen to like small cars.
Ugh.
I like the Yenko though. Just for the sport package and all that.
No, because next you'll be telling me you like the Copo Camaro.
No, I will never be a Copo fan. Sorry,
Copo Camaro sucked.
Well, I do like the Nova too, but it's going to be a bright pearlescent green, and that's going to take a lot of more money right now than I'm willing to spend on paint. So I wanted to do a very fluorescent pearl.
You know what I might do for you, Jack, is I might bust out my airbrush and get some plastic spoons and paint these folk art colors on the spoons for you, so you can see what the sapphire blue and the metallic green and the cherry red and whatnot look like for you. As a resource.
Really?
For an idea for you. I can do that for you, it's not a problem.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I can do it for you, it's not a problem.
Yeah, plastic knives. I can see the X-ray right now. A plastic knife.
But yeah, that's like I said. I've got like so many different sapphire like just the colors and the metallics themselves. Because again, I do a lot of tanks and things like that. But I also started getting into cars again, and yeah, it's gonna kill me again because I'm a bit finicky about my cars.
Mm-hmm. So, does anybody else have anything to add today?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I absolutely detest Windows.
Oh, I see. Yes, the thing that you don't like to do in modeling is drill windows and cut them out, huh?
No. The drilling I can do because I've got a little jigsaw thingy. I cheat. I've got a little jigsaw to do it, but it's the whole square and the slant. Why can't windows just be a generic shape in the future? But no, they all have to be separate. And
As Christina said, one of the...
This is in a lot of these movies you see they've got this big bulky view screen. Why can't the front of your shuttle just have a big view screen instead of 8 billion windows? What, you got every room that's going to have its own personal window?
Yeah. It's the Federation. What'd you expect?
I thought this was supposed to be future.
That's what happens when you let the Windows Builders unions get in there. Yeah. Damn those unions.
Damn unions.
Well, as
Led
Christina
by a
said, when are they going to invent a square drill bit? Right, Christina?
Actually, there is such a thing. I hate to say it, but there is such a thing. It has, imagine a piece of brass tubing that is very sharpened at the end, and there's a drill bit that goes inside it.
Yeah, and I know the ones for the big ones.
Yeah, I've never used one on plastic because I've never seen one small enough, but I have seen them used on wood. And
yeah, I know they do right angle chisels as well that you can get to do corners and that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've not seen them small enough, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Chevelle should be a good little build for you there, Jack.
All right, I think I'll do that. I think I'll make it. The challenge is to build a car and to electrify it, and hopefully I can get around to buying Ralph's circuit board for his cars.
Mm-hmm.
That one with the magnet.
I believe Ralph's got a sale on his circuit boards right now. I think the car one is like $20 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe. I think it's on his website or something. He said. So yeah.
Oh, I should check that out then. That would be a big savings because that will be the more expensive part of my build.
Yeah, because I meant yeah.
You know, one of our regulars on Across the Pond says, I'm not into cars. Let's do something different. I'm like, sure. I said, you pick. And I think that I was thinking, and I've been thinking this, and I'll leave it up to Craig though, but I think we should do group builds if that's okay. I mean, not really everybody doing them, but if you're interested, yeah, let's do it and talk about, because, you know, and Across the Pond, there's a lot to talk about when we're actually building similar things. In this case, a car.
Yeah.
And now there's two sci-fi guys, actually three sci-fi guys building cars, but two of which really haven't built a car lately. And of course, Liam said he's never built a car, and this would be interesting to talk about.
Well, and one thing, it'll be interesting because another one of our members, Heath, we've kind of been talking together. He is sending me a Batmobile. He has the exact same model, so we're going to basically be doing a Batmobile group build between the two of us.
And I actually have a group build idea coming up, where it's basically a friend of mine who was in Vietnam recently passed away, and so I was going to do a tribute build to him where it's going to be a Huey and it's going to be a big Huey scene where they're picking up some Marines and that. So I'm going to do that for him.
Two things I've been thinking about is a helicopter as well as an aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've only ever built like 2 or 3 helicopters. I'm not really that proficient at building helicopters. So I'm going to be testing the waters, so to say, and the helicopter I want in question, for some reason, is always out of bloody stock. So I've got to hunt for it, and it's the Husweiger 148, because it comes with the Vietnam decals. So that'll be fun, and once I start that, I'll probably throw it out to people if they're interested and want to throw in something. It doesn't have to be the helicopter or anything. It could be, you know, a tank from Vietnam, or it could be a soldier or a figurine. It could be anything. Just throwing it out there, you know. And that's what I want to start doing. Is I want to start doing group builds, because I noticed that Chris Chapman, who's a very good car model builder, he's just recently branched out and bought himself a model plane. And he's like, I don't know the front to the end. I need help. And it was like watching an infant playing with a handgun. And it's tragic, but funny at the same time.
Well, that's my point is that the reason why we're doing it Across the Pond is that I like the fact that Liam particularly is willing to do a car. He's never done one or hasn't done one in a long time. And I think challenging oneself in the hobby makes what you like building even better, I think. My painting techniques, watching and learning from car builders how to paint a car, of course, translate into what I like to do. So I'm just putting it out there, and that's the car build is actually going to start in 2 weeks on Across the Pond. And yeah, we're going to see where it goes from there. And I hope anybody watching will look at the video once it comes out. And also, we have run out of time. We've had so much fun. We've went 5 minutes over. That's okay. But I'd like to thank our sponsors. Of course, our first sponsor that we've had was Tenant Controls, Ralph Tenaglia at Tenant Controls. He's just terrific. You can find him and his contact information as well as the website of all his circuit boards at tenantcontrols.com. Tenant Controls brings models to life. And of course, Acrylic Coast Vallejo paint. I got stuck on it. I did some, fumey type painting this weekend. I'm going back to Vallejo. Vallejo.com, and you can find them at your nearest hobby shop and across the internet as well. Is there somebody else I'm missing there, Danny?
You're using Awada Matea airbrushes. Pretty much best airbrushes around as far as I'm concerned. And the Fiber Optic Store and Lou's Aztec Dummy painting masks.
And
Along with
TM Hobbycraft.
And TM Hobbycraft, yep. Yep. And we actually have a 10% coupon code, which is 10% off anything in their in their store, which is pretty goddamn
And
awesome.
I'd like to give a shout out to one of our members. Oh crap, Neil. Neil, not Neil Diamond.
Neil Wooding.
What's that? Neil Wooding.
Neil Wooding.
Neil Wooding is starting. He's making models and model kits, and he and his friends created an entire new universe of sci-fi, and you can find them on a Google Plus communities. That is Wild House Models, and check him out. He's got a lot of good stuff cooking over there, and you know what? I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to be seeing a lot more of his stuff on not just a Hangout, but on the community. And keep it going, Neil. You're great. And thank you to all you members who have joined, who do share. I come home from work during the weekdays, and I think, you know what is there to do? I don't want to start building, and because I'll get hooked and I won't get up in the morning and all that stuff. I look at everybody's posts, and each one of them are inspirational. Thank you all for joining and being part of it. Amazing Plastic hit 773 members today. There were 3 members joined this past weekend, since yesterday. And thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and I'd like to thank Andy. Andy, the one being built.
Sorry, I didn't get that, Jack.
You didn't hear that? Am I chopping in and out?
Yeah, you're chopping in and out.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. And you're building the Ecto 1.
I will be for the car build, but after I put a post on today, the votes are in, everyone's saying build it, so I'm going to build it.
Hooray, build it.
Yeah, I said build it. Just build it. It's a model kit. Just build it.
Build it.
Yeah.
Model kits were built to be built, plain and simple.
And thank you, Christina, for joining us. And I see you got your workbench. I'm sure you're happy, and your cat wants to go out, it looks like.
No.
There you go. There's our token animal.
I could say something very dirty about something going outside.
Yeah. A pussy wants outside. There you go. Your pussy wants outside.
I don't want to say. And Colin, thanks for sharing, and thanks for joining our Hangout. And of course, thank you for sharing, Danny. Thanks for joining us, and it's always
going to hell.
David, thank you for coming by, and Sharon, and of course, James, thank you very much. And Jay, as always, your expertise is well used from my end of the bargaining. I learn so much from everybody, but you, particularly, you make me daring. You push me in different directions. And, of course, Otto, thanks for joining us, too.
Yep, yep.
And thank you all for joining us tonight with the Amazing Plastics Sunday Hangout. Keep on modeling, and have a good night. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.